Hi, I'm Julie from the Bradley Edit. I create digital planners for GoodNotes, and on this channel, I'll be sharing real budgeting sessions, digital planning tips, organizations, and the systems I use to keep our home and finances running smoothly as a full-time working mom. Let's get started with the budget section. Welcome back to another budget with me. Today we're going to set up all 3 of my July paychecks. In the last video, we went over how to set up our core monthly budget. This is what we came up with, and now we're going to talk about the fact that we get paid bi-weekly, and then we also have our Canada Child benefit that comes monthly. So I'm going to show you how I break this down into a paycheck budget. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to July, and I'm going to go grab one of my paycheck budgets. I'm going to copy this page. I'm going to go back to the core budget, and I'm going to add this page right in here. So what this is going to become is a bi-weekly template for what my bills are on a bi-weekly basis. So if we go back up to the core budget, we're going to take all of these numbers and we're going to times by 12 and divide by 26 to get our totals. So I'm going to copy this down. Then I'm going to change the color to gray just so that I can distinguish on here what's my monthly amounts and what's my bi-weekly amounts. So I'm going to take each of these numbers times by 12 divided by 26 to get my bi-weekly amounts. If we go to the monthly income worksheet, you can see the amounts there. So I'm going to write my bi-weekly amounts here. So 2408 and 1950. And then I'm also going to write that the Canada Child benefit hits my account on the 20th. Then our mortgage, car lease, and daycare. So our biweekly amount for those, actually my mortgage, I just found out has decreased a little bit, which I mean, that never happens. So happy win. So if we go to the fixed expenses, so my mortgage used to be $784 biweekly, and now it's $769 biweekly. And then these two stayed the same. All right, and now we're going to do the exact same math, the times 12 divided by 26. For my sinking funds to get their bi-weekly amounts. All right, and then my TFSA, RSP, and RESP. So these come out on the 20th, and my TFSA is on payday. So this is a bi-weekly one, and that's $50 bi-weekly. All right, so now we're going to use the July paycheck just to set up our template, and you'll see how that it becomes quite helpful. Everything we write on here is going to be a bi-weekly amount. For this template, I like to shrink this down and place it right here, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so this is our paycheck template. Next, I'm going to go to the yearly calendar. On this yearly calendar, I'm going to go through and highlight all of our paydays. You can customize your highlighter color by simply going into here, and then you hit the little plus sign. And if you click this little color selector, it'll pop up. Then you hover over the color you want and then click add to presets. So you can see I've already added in some of the colors from my calendar. So for July, we're going to use the red. We get paid on the 2nd, 16th, 30th. Then in August, we'll get paid on the 13th and the 27th. So then what I do is I'm using the lasso tool, and you go around and then you take a screenshot and then save the image. And I'm going to do the same thing for August. So take a screenshot, save the image. So now if you click on the July, and we're going to go to Paycheck 1, then I'm going to add in the little calendar we just saved. And so this is just a great little reference when you're trying to figure out your pay periods. So I know that my first pay period goes from the 2nd to the 15th. So July 2nd to the 15th. My opening balance right now is $180. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that template that we made. So if you go to core budget, right below is our template. And we're going to copy all this text. Go back to July Paycheck 1 and paste it in. So let's move this calendar over. So everything between the 2nd and the 16th is what we're going to keep on here. And then you're going to see how I make some adjustments. So let's start with our income. We'll get both income A, income B, but the 20th is not here. So we're going to remove the Canada Child Benefit because that won't be on this pay. Then we're going to insert the dates for when our mortgage, car lease, daycare, because those are my 3 biweekly bills, are going to come out. So my mortgage comes out on payday, so that'll be on July 2nd. And then my car lease and daycare both come out on the 10th of July. And then we're going to have our house and car insurance come out on the 6th. Cable and internet come out on the 11th, and our cell phone bill will come out on the 12th. So these 3 bills, the one on the 19th, the 26th, and the 26th, can be removed because those will not come out of this pay. So we just simply erase those. So then we have talked about the fact that I'm likely going to have to pause Christmas, as well as I've paused my TFSA and probably my emergency fund because we have some extra bills with our credit cards going on. So let's go fill in what we're going to owe for our credit cards. So we're not going to owe anything on the HELOC because I already paid the payment that was due on July 2nd. The MasterCard is due on the 13th, and we owe $33.30 $12.13 left on the statement, and after that is paid, we will owe $14.31 on August 13th. So Visa 1, I'm not going to pay anything out of this pay on it. It's due July 29th, and then this Visa is due August 3rd. The one that's due July 3rd has already been paid. So on this, we're going to owe $13.05, and here we're going to owe $6.21. So you can see we still are going to be owing quite a bit even after I pay this $3,313. So yeah, our spending definitely has been a little excessive lately. So we're going to rein that in. To cover all of this, we are going to pause everything here. Out of the vacation fund, we just went on our vacation. We are going to be using negative $18.49. And so here's the reality of the balances of my 4 sinking funds. Let's move on to our investing. The RRSP and the RESP come out on the 20th. That's not going to be coming out of this pay, so we can remove those two. And then technically my TFSA should be coming out, but I went in and paused it. And we're also going to be pausing the emergency fund. We'll write down our balances in all of these. Well, you can see we have quite a bit of money saved, but so much of it is tied up in investments, so it's not liquid and not accessible, which is both good and bad. So it's good because I'm not going to touch it. We're going to leave it there. It's for future spending. But what's bad is when we get into situations like right now where we've overspent, it's really hard to get caught up, and I'm trying my best not to have to pay interest on my credit cards. And so it's, you know, we got to rein things in and just be more intentional with what we're spending our money on. How I'm going to sort this out, because I definitely don't have enough to cover these variable expenses, which is my lever of where I cut back. So now let's go in and write down all of our totals. So our income is $45.30. Fixed expenses is $23.86. Variable, we're going to see. Sinking funds, we're adding that $18.49 out of our vacation fund. Our savings, we're saving $0 out of this paycheck. And then our debt, $33.13. Which leaves us $677. So we have $677 here instead of $1070. So a little bit short.
One thing, just looking at these numbers, I know that I want to look at the next few paychecks just to be sure that we're gonna have enough money for our variable spending. Let's go do the same exact thing for our second paycheck. That leaves us a total of $681 for variable spending. 681. Okay, so I know our paycheck number 3 is going to be even tighter since we still owe $27.36, which are both going to be coming out of the next paycheck. So let's go take a look at how that's going to look. Which leaves us a grand total of negative $950 for variable spending. So if we do the math on this, so we have 677 and 681. $681, and this is negative 950. This adds up to 408 for 6 weeks. So let's be so honest. This isn't super reasonable The way I'm going to get out of having to pay interest is I'm going to be paying this amount. Some of our expenses will be going on credit card, and you'll see in August we'll be paying those off. This is not what I want to be doing. I want to have the money in our bank account to be able to pay off the balance, but this is the reality. This happens to a lot of people, is you get into this situation of owing more on your credit cards than your paycheck's able to cover. My goal is to get this cleaned up by the end of August, and then start back on our sinking funds, emergency funds. So my plan for the next couple of videos is I'm going to be showing you what we're actually spending on gas, groceries, etc. I'm doing my best to do a bit of a spending freeze. We're gonna try doing frugal or free family activities, and I'll let you know everything that we spend for these next 3 paychecks, and how we end up at the end, and what we owe on our credit cards, and if I'm able to get this back on track. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.